कालव्यालविलासिने गणेशाय नमो नील कमलामलकान्तये लीलागल लुलल्लोल कालव्यालविलासिने गणेशाय नमो नील कमल अमल कान्तये प्रीतिं भक्तजनस्य यो जनयते विघ्नं विनिघ्नं स्मृतः तं वृन्दारक वृन्दवन्दितपदं नत्वा मतङ्गाननम् तं वृन्दारक वृन्दितपदं नत्वा मतङ्गाननम् पाटीं सद्गणितस्य वच्मि चतुरप्रीतिप्रदां प्रस्फुटां संक्षिप्ताक्षर कोलामलपदैः लालित्य लीलावतीं संक्षिप्ताक्षर कोमलामलपदैः लालित्य लीलावतीं लालित्य लीलावतीं.
Thank you, Gayatri ji, for presenting Mangalacharya. To tell you something about Professor Ram Subramaniam. He is a professor in the cell for Indian Science and Technology in Sanskrit at the Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai. He holds the titles Vidvat Pravara in Advaita Vedanta and a PhD in modern physics. In collaboration with Professor M.S. Sriram and M.D. Srinivas, he has brought out excellent editions and translations of the Ganita Yukti Bhasha of Jyeshtha Deva and the Tantra Sangraha of Nilakantha Somaya ji. So I now invite Professor Ram Subramaniam to start his plenary lecture.
अत्र समागतेभ्यः संस्कृत अभिमानिभ्यः गणितशास्त्र विद्वद्भ्यः अन्येभ्यश्च मदीयान् नमोवाकान् प्रथमतः समर्प्य इतः परं लीला इन् दि लीलावती लीलावत्यां विद्यमाना लीला इति विषयम् अधिकृत्य यथामति किञ्चित् वक्तुम् अभिलषामि. At the outset, I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude for Professor S.R. Sharma for suggesting that I could speak on this topic in this occasion. Leelavati is a word which can be derived by adding a suffix called matup to Leela. So for instance, Buddhiman, Buddhimati, if you say. Buddhimati, Buddhiman, when we say, the suffix has the capacity to convey that the person has abundant of that thing which is referred to by the noun in him or her. So the very word Leelavati, so Leela, as most of us know, refers to charm, beauty, play, etc. So here in this text, Leelavati, so we find the verses presented by Bhaskara either to explain a certain procedure or to illustrate that procedure through some examples with charm which is unparalleled in any of these mathematical texts which is available to us. And therefore I would say that Leelavati, even if we do not take it as a proper name and look at the meaning which can be derived from the components of the word, is very, very meaningful. In fact, Bhaskara commences as was sung by her. I only thought that I had opportunity for her to sing the entire Leelavati in such a melodious tone so that we can be listening to it forever. The verses are so beautiful. The prasa in Sanskrit, we have two types of alankaras. Alankara in English is referred to as figure of speech. The one is Shabda Alankara, the other is Artha Alankara. So Shabda Alankara, so in English may be referred to as alliteration, assonance, anaphora, epiphora and so on. So a certain consonant which keeps repeating, a string of consonants and vowels which keep repeating, or vowels themselves repeating, or similar sounding words present in every quarter of the verse. So these are all belonging to what is known as Shabda Alankara. The Mangala Charanam, when she was singing Leelagala Lulalola Kalavyala Vilasine Ganeshaya Namo Neela Kamalamala Kantaye. So we find almost 15-20 times the syllable Lakara appearing of the 32 syllables in the verse. But it is a very beautiful verse. In fact, that is what I am going to commence my talk with. So as I have mentioned, a beautiful blend of poetry, arithmetic and geometry. So I may be dividing my time, so roughly 1/3 to discuss about the poetry and then maybe arithmetic and a little bit of geometry towards the end. So one interesting feature of Indian mathematics is that most of the texts have been composed in the form of verses. So one could ask this question whether it is by compulsion or by choice that these poets chose to write these texts in the form of verses. The answer could be yes to both, I would say. Unless you have something in the form of poetry, it cannot be as appealing as it will be in the form of prose, and therefore it could be by choice. Secondly, as it was pointed out by the earlier speakers, the tradition has been more or less oral here, and therefore composing something in the form of poetry will be extremely useful for the person to recall or recollect without much of a difficulty than in the form of prose. And this could be the reason. And secondly, conveying something in the form of poetry can be much more terser than what one can convey through prose. So this could also be a reason as to why people wanted to choose to compose in the form of poetry. Beautiful verses. As has been rightly chosen, we have this logo, Vibhudhavi Vandita Pado Jayati Shri Bhaskaracharya. He has been extolled by many people so who have been followers of Bhaskaracharya, and this is the last line of the set of verses which actually extol Bhaskaracharya, so what we find in Changadeva's inscription. The word Vibudha in Sanskrit has two meanings. One is Deva, the other is wise person. Vibhudhavi Vandita Padaha. So now can have two meanings. The one who is revered even by Devas, the one whose words are revered even by Devas. The other aspect is the one who is venerated by the wise people. Why is it that he has been held so high? I would say there are four major aspects which one can consider as to why Bhaskaracharya has been held so high. One is this high poetic value about which I touched upon. The other is careful organization of the material which has to be presented in the text. So whichever it is, so it has been so carefully organized. And third aspect is lucid exposition of the subject. And the fourth is brilliant choice of examples. In fact, my talk will be primarily focusing on examples. In fact, there is a set of lectures which have been delivered on the development of mathematics in India. So in which Professor Sriram has given 3 lectures on Leelavati, which is available in YouTube. Most of you can view that. He has explained the detailed mathematical aspects. So I am not going to touch upon the detailed mathematical aspects of it, but the poetical aspect is what I wanted to touch upon, and that's why I was very thankful. So this aspect has not been looked into by myself because there was no opportunity. So I just took up this opportunity to see to it that how I can enjoy the poetical aspect of Bhaskaracharya. There are several beautiful examples taken, all of them taken from our day-to-day experiences. This verse, I am going to spend about 5 minutes on this verse. So this is something which was really amusing to me. Apart from the Shabda Alankara, la 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 appearing, so let us see this verse. Leela gala lulallola kalavyala vilasini. The word vyala in Sanskrit can mean 2 things. Here in this verse he has used in the sense of serpent. So kalavyala refers to a black serpent. So kalavyala, before that we find lola. Lola means chanchala, so that which is oscillating kind of a thing. And before that you have the word lula. Lula is something which has been bending up and down kind of a thing. Okay, that which is hanging. So we find all these aspects in the serpent, right? So serpent will always be oscillating and it will be swinging up and down kind of a thing. So that is thing. Then gala refers to kantha, so the neck. Leela is charmfully. So serpent which is charmfully coiling and uncoiling around the neck of somebody, right? So this is what it means. Vilasine is one who is glowing, one who is shining, and so on and so forth. Ganeshaya, whom does it refer to? Ganeshaya Namaha, I offer my venerations to Ganesha. Neela Kamalamala Kantaye. So Kanti is complexion, Neela Kamala is a blue lotus, so the one whose complexion is like that of a blue lotus. There is a problem. The problem is the most commonly quoted verse, or rather on every occasion a Hindu anybody who is in the traditional family, so will always refer to this verse. Shuklam Bradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye. So the tradition is to offer one's veneration to Ganesha for the successful completion of whatever undertaking he has done. So there in this we find the description Shashivarnam. So Shashi refers to moon. So the one whose complexion is as that of a moon. So here the poet describes him as having that of a blue lotus. So there is a contradiction. Number 2. We will not find any photograph of Ganesha so having snake in his neck. So there is another problem in this. So in this description. So how do we sort of reconcile this? So I have been thinking of this. So then it occurred to me that what the poet is trying to depict here is not Ganesha having the serpent in his neck, coiling and uncoiling, but Ganesha playing around with the serpent which is coiling and uncoiling on the neck of his father. So the poet perhaps imagines Ganesha as a small boy, little boy, sitting on the lap of Shiva and then playing around with the serpent which he is playing in his neck. Leelagala Lulallola Kalavyala Vilasine. Vilasine is the one who is playing with that. Then Ganeshaya Namaha. The later half, Neela Kamalamala Kantaye. So Ganesha, so being a young boy, see, the face will be very radiant. And therefore it simply captures the black color of the serpent, and therefore the complexion in his face is also that of a blue lotus. So this is how the verse can be understood. This is what I thought. Apart from this, here the Shabda Alankara, so this is something which is very evident in this verse. So let us move into Artha Alankara, which is what many of these people in the literature really value. So since there are some Sanskrit lovers who have come from various parts, and including Professor Filioza, so in fact his book, very nice short book, maybe 150 pages, is very nice regarding the Sanskrit language. I really appreciate it. Okay. Here, what Alankara has been employed, Tadguna Alankara is what they say. Tadguna Swaguna Tyagat Anyata Swagunodayaha Padmaragarunam Nasa Muktikam Ted Adharashritam. So this is the example. So Swaguna Tyagat, so I will not get into the details of this definition, but all that I want to say is, if a poet were to describe something which is not present in the object, but which is present in some other object, then Swaguna Tyaga. So what has been done is dropping the Shashivarnatvam and superimposing something else. So this is a form of figure of speech which has been employed. Number 2, there is another Alankara. So I think I may run short of time, so I will skip. There is another Alankara which can be explained here, which is called Kavyalingam. So Kavyalingam is something which is suggestive of something. So you present two statements, and these two statements indicate something else to you. The moment you read this, then it strikes something to you. That is again a very beautiful figure of speech. I will explain this, then you can think over this. Jitosi manda kandarpa machittesti trilochanaha. So the poet says, manda kandarpa. Kandarpa is Cupid. Manda is stupid. Oh stupid Cupid. Okay. So he says, I have won over you. Jitosi. Machittesti trilochanaha. That is the second statement. So in my heart, Lord Shiva resides. So these are two separate statements, but the moment one hears, and one is also familiar with the mythology, then it immediately suggests to you that I have somebody who has in my heart who has already burnt you, and therefore winning over is something which is so easy, like a cakewalk for me. Okay, so that is the suggested meaning. So that is the kind of okay. That is also we can explain in this. Now I move on to the second verse, invocatory verse. So Pritim Bhakta Janasya. I only wish that I can sing like her. Pritim Bhakta Janasya yo janayate vighnam vinignan smrtaha. Tam Vrindaraka Vrindavanditapadam Natva Matangananam Patim Sadganitasya Bachmi Chatura Priti Pradam Prasphutam Sankshiptakshara Komalamala Padaihi Lalitya Leelavati. So Lalitya Meva Leela, Lalitya Leela. Okay. So the charm, the beauty itself is something which is the special aspect of this text. Now, this is of course a prayer which is addressed to Vinayaka, Vighnam Vinignan Smrtaha. Sadganitasya Patim Vachmi. So this is the first verse. In fact, in Leelavati, this is the first Mangalacharana. In fact, this is a work which is seems to be very similar to what we find in Aryabhatiya. See, in Aryabhatiya, so we have, so this first, so before Ganita Pada, so there are 4 padas. Sometimes the text is only consisting of 3 padas, and then the first pada, so where simply the parameters are stated. So there also we find there is a Mangalacharana right at the beginning, and then he says 10 verses, and then one more Mangalacharana, and then he proceeds with the text. So Leelavati is also similar. So he starts with this Pritim Bhakta Janasya, so then lists out various units of measures, weight, length, and so on and so forth, and then he makes one more Mangalacharana, Leelagala Lulallola, which I was explaining. So, and then he moves on with the text. So, this is just one remark which I thought I'll just make here, incidentally. Here, this word matangananam is a very interesting usage which the poet has made. I wanted to bring out the alankara in this, so that is why I'm choosing this verse. I'll spend about 2-3 minutes here. Matanga means elephant. This word is also derivable from its parts. Or rather, one can give a yogika vyutpatti for this word. Matam gachatiti matangaha. Matam, swamatam. Matam means as one thinks. So one's own opinion. Okay, matam generally means opinion. So matam gacchati iti matangaha. So this is a description of elephant. So elephant you might have seen, it will be uncontrollable. So it will just move as it likes. Okay. So it is one of the animals which cannot be so easily controlled. Okay. Even to feed it, it is extremely difficult. If it wishes, it can eat. Okay. But anyway, so matam gacchati iti matangaha. So there is a beautiful alankara which the literary people describe as parikarankura alankara. There are several hundreds of alankaras are there, figures of speech. This parikarankura alankara, sabhipraye visheshyetu bhavet parikarankuraha. So when a poet uses, so there are certain adjectives which are employed to qualify a noun. And in the usage, if you find that this particular, see, there are various synonyms to describe Vigneshwara, Ganeshwara. There are so many things which one can employ to refer to Ganeshwara. But he has used a specific thing here. Matangananam is the word which he has used. So when you find something which has been employed which will be suggestive of some meaning, then there is an alankara. So the standard example is Chaturnam Purusharthanam Data Devas Chaturbhujaha. So you describe Vishnu. Chaturbhujaha is the term. So there are 1,000 names for Vishnu. He could have employed any of them. He has used Chaturbhujaha here. So here Chaturnam Purusharthanam Data. So with 4 hands he can give you 4 Purusharthas and therefore Chaturbhujaha. So there is a alankara, figure of speech which has been employed, a specific reason for choosing this noun and the qualifying thing that you wanted to describe. Okay, Chaturbhujaha, Chaturnam Purusharthanam. Similarly here, this Matangananam he has employed. So Matangananam, as I told you, so elephant, so Matam Gacchati, it goes as it likes. So the poet is seeking the blessing of Vinayaka to see to it that his pen can run as he likes. Or he is able to express the meaning as he likes. Okay? So that is the beauty of this, and therefore we find the usage of Parikarankula Alankara in this. Of course, I can describe few more Alankaras also, but I just wanted to give you a flavor. I will move on to other things also. Okay? And this Vrindaraka Vrindavandita Padam, so you can see any shloka that you choose in Lilavati, you will find some sort of Alankara. It is so beautiful. So Vrindaraka Vrinda, so in fact this was an opportunity, that's why I wanted to thank Professor Sharma right at the beginning. So I studied Alankara when I was in 8th standard, long back, 8th or 9th standard. Almost I had forgotten. So this time I was trying to recall most of these Alankaras, and then I was so rejuvenated as I was reading this. Vrindaraka Vrindavandita Padam, so Vighanam Vinignan and so on. Patim Sadganitasya Vachmi. So the pati, the word here is a straightforward meaning. Sadganitasya Patim Vachmi. Paripati means itikartavyata. So the way, the procedure and so on. Sadganitasya Patim Vachmi. So Pati has been already explained by various people. Why are you venturing into this? Can be the question which arises in one's mind. Prasphutam Vachmi. So he is qualifying by saying, so I am making it as clear as possible, as simple as possible. Okay, Prasphuta. Prasphuta means as simple as clear. Sadganitasya Patim Vachmi. So if you are making very simple, then the scholars may not enjoy. So that also he says, Chatura Priti Pradam. Okay, Chatura Priti Pradam. Chatura is smart people who are wise people who are already experts in this. Even for them, there will be something which is appealing. Chatura Priti Pradam, it will be pleasing for them. Why would it be pleasing? Because Lalitya Leelavati. Okay, so that is the Leela in Leelavati. And what is the Leela? Sankshiptakshara Komalam. See, Sankshiptaksharam is something which is to be noted. So he doesn't elaborate too much. So he doesn't put it as terse as we find in Aryabhatiyam. Sankshipta Akshara. Then Komala Amala Padaihi. So Komala Padaihi, see the moment you read, so there is a certain flow. So that is what it is, Komala. Okay. So I think I'll just move on to the next slide. Paribhasha. So what does Leelavati contain? I wanted to give you a flavor. Initially he starts with what is called Paribhasha. Paribhasha, is the terms which will be employed in the text without which you will not be able to grasp what is being stated. Okay, the terminologies. So the terminologies that he'll be employing for weight, for linear measure, and so on and so forth, these are listed in about half a dozen verses. Okay, around 7-8 verses. So this is Paribhasha Prakaranam, because he is going to explain the procedures with various examples wherein he will be involving a trader, he will be involving some mason, he will be involving a carpenter, he will be involving all sorts of people. So depending upon the example which he wants to present, so all these paribhashas are being stated right. Then Mangalacharanam, then Sankhya-sthanani, so place values he has listed. Then Parikarmashtakam is what we say. So basic arithmetic operations, so which are 8 in number, so addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then square, square root, cube, cube root. So this is what is referred to as Parikarmashtaka. So initially he starts with this Parikarma with integers. So then he moves on to explain the same Parikarma with fractions. Okay, so that's why I said Niramshanka Parikarma, and then we have Bhinnanka Parikarma, then we have Shunya Parikarma. This is something which is special. I think Professor M.D. Srinivas or somebody else may be referring to, because this is something which is also dealt with in Bijaganitam. So Bhinna Parikarma, so that is a very interesting, there are a couple of interesting verses as well as examples. Shunya Parikarma. See, the operation with zero. Operation with zero is something which is very tricky. The very number is something which is somebody has written a book called Zero, the biography of a dangerous idea. So it is something which is a very special number. It is a special number. So you multiply, everything will collapse. So you choose any point in the line, multiply with this number, it will collapse onto that point. So if you divide, it will blow out. Okay. So that is what it is. So this is very difficult to deal with, and therefore a special chapter has been assigned for that. Then Viloma Kriya Vyasta Vidhi. So some inverse operations. Ishta Sankhya Nirnaya Karma. Ishta Sankhya is you assign a certain problem and then say this fellow went to the pond, he picked up certain number of lotuses, he offered a certain number of lotuses to the deity, to this deity, that deity, that deity, that deity, and finally whatever was there with him. So he went and offered to his guru. What was remaining is only 6. Tell me what was the number of lotuses that he picked up. Okay. So these are kinds of problems which we will see, and sometimes you may have to go in this order, sometimes you may have to go in the reverse order. So depending upon the problem. So this going in the reverse order is what is called Viloma Kriya. So he is explaining. Maybe I'll just give 1 or 2 examples there. Then Ishta Sankhya Nirnaya Trairashikadi Karma. So rule of 3, rule of 5. So Mishraka Vyavahara, something which has to do with the trade. Okay. Then Shredhi Vyavahara has to do with the series, arithmetic progression, geometric progression. Kshetra Vyavahara is of course a very, I think this is the biggest chapter in Leelavati, consisting of around 70 verses. So verse number 140 to almost 220, something like that. Okay. So this is the largest chapter. Shredhi Vyavahara and, Kshetra Vyavahara. Then after that, around 60 verses are there. 50-60 verses. This has to do with Khata, Chiti, Krakacha. Khata is basically excavation. So Chiti is putting together, so it is building. So we have a lecture by Professor Dani on mensuration. Chiti Krakacha Vyavahara. Then he also touches upon Kotaka Vyavahara, which is dealt with in great detail in some other work. And then Upasamhara. Okay. So let me start with very simple. So the point is, the mathematical operation may be very simple, but as I was mentioning, he brings in charm by the way he composes the poetry. So for that purpose, I am just quoting 2 verses here. See, let us read this verse. Bale bala kuranga lola nayane lilavati prochyatam. So you see, so alliteration, assonance, and so on. Then, so kalyasi kalyanini chinnastena gunena tejaha jatah katisyurvada. Simple. So he is asking this question 135 into 12. What is this? But I mean, there are certain other things also. But this is what essentially this verse is. But he has composed it so beautifully. Then, so asking questions regarding the cubes. So let us see this, read this verse. Navaghanam trighanasya ghanam tatha kathaya pancha ghanasya ghananchate ghanapadancha tatopi ghanat sakhe yadi ghane ghanat bhavato yadi ghane ghana bhavato matihi. See, so ghana here refers to if you are quite strong in the operations of cubing, you better tell. So see, the word ghana he is employed in both senses. So that kind of a shlesha is something which will be found throughout this work. That is what I wanted to tell you with this. Now, Vyasta Vidhi. So here what you find in this slide, so this kind of operation, see, yes trighanaha is multiplied by 3. Yaha means, so whenever we find yat, so it refers to some algebraic quantity x, some unknown quantity. Yes trighanaha tribhir anvitaha swacharanair bhaktaha, so that refers to this process. Tata saptabhihi divided swatyamshena vivarjitaha. See, swatyamsha is 1/3, swatyamshena vivarjitaha 1 minus 1 by 3 into that quantity. Swagunena hinaha dipanchashata. See, dipanchashata refers to 52. Tanmule ashtayute. Okay. So tanmule, mula refers to square root. Okay. Ashtayute, add 8 to that. Hritecha dashabhihi, so then divided by 10. Jatam dvayam. All these operations you have done, what you have is 2. 2 is the quantity which remains. So he has described various operations. He has referred to take some number x. In fact, I remember, say when I was a boy, so doing I think high school, so one Pandit used to come to my house. And this Pandit always, so sometimes I felt very happy when I was able to answer his question. But sometimes I felt very bad. Say, he's asking a simple question, I'm not able to do this calculation. Now I know what this Pandit was doing is primarily this Lilavati. I didn't know then. So 30 years back, 35 years back, so this is what was happening. So he was always giving some kind of a problem. Take some number, multiply by this on 1/3, or even this, all these kinds of things. Now this is what I think what we call as recreational mathematics. See, so people engaging the other person in very interesting things. So the problems are so beautifully posed, which have to do something with what you deal with on a day-to-day basis. So he picked up this many number of apples, that many number of apples, and then, so this is something which is really lacking. So in modern system, anyway, so we'll see. If I have time, I will deliberate upon it toward the end of my talk. So tanmule hridecha dashavihi. See again, chanchalakshi vimalam bale vilomakriyam. So do this vilomakriya. So this what you have to do is you have to start from here. So 2 into 10 and then you have to go, and so the answer x is 28. Okay. So this is what is called vilomakriya. If you start from the opposite, then you will be able to arrive at this number. Then this unknown quantity, amala kamala rashe trimsha pancham shashthai, this is what I was just quoting. See, earlier I was mentioning, so somebody picked up amala kamala rashi. There also some beauty, see. So kamala rashi would have just stated, you could have composed the verse. He says amala kamala rashi, just to bring that shabda alankara. Okay, amala kamala rashe. Then again you find surya charya, see, sakala kamala, see. So you find that alankara, so throughout. So this Ganesha has blessed him apparently. So amala kamala rashe. So basically, so this verse he says 1/3 he offered to Trinayana. Trinayana is Shiva. 1/5 he offered to Vishnu, and 1/6 he offered to Sun, and Arya. See, so Amba he would have said. So Arya he uses to refer to Amba. So it is because the Surya and Arya, okay, the prasa. So and then he have this number and the number of lotuses, and then when he went to offer his guru, only 6 were remaining. So what were the number of lotuses that this fellow picked up? This is the question. And I remember, but I failed to answer, okay, as I was mentioning. This is what he was quoting, that Pandit, when he asked me. So answer is, okay. So this is how it is. We have this honey bee problem, which is very interesting. So this is again similar, this honey bee problem. Pancham Sholikulat Kadamba Magamat Trimsham Shilindram Tayoho Vishleshas Trigunaha Mrigakshi Kotajam Dolaya Mano Paraha Kante Ketaka Malati Parimala Praptaika Kalapriya Kalapriya Duta Huta Itastato Brahmatike Dringe Ali Sankyam Vada. Ali Sankyam Vada. So Sankhya count, Ali Sankhya, the total number of bees that were present in a hive. He says there are a group of bees and Panchamshaha means 1/5. 1/5 of it left towards Kadamba tree, Kadamba Magamat. Then he says Tryamsha, 1/3 of it, Shilindram, went to the other tree. Vishlesha Trigunaha. So Vishleshaha is the difference of these. Okay. Trigunaha multiply. So 1/3 minus 1/5 multiply by 3, whatever is the count. So that went to Kutaja is another tree. Now this description is what is beautiful. So that is where the poet's genius comes. He says, Dolaya Mano Aparaha. So in this figure, what I have shown is, so these honeybees, they decided that they have to go to the tree. They went, this went in this, that went in the, there was one bee on the way. Okay, so he is describing Ketaka Malati Parimala Praptaika Kala Priya Duta Huta Itastato Brahmati. He says Parimala is fragrance. So as he was passing, there were 2 fragrances coming from 2 different directions. This fellow could not, as he was describing, no. So this honeybee could not choose whether I should go here or I should go here. Okay, so this is the kind of Dolayamana is, there was some oscillation in his mind. So to choose this or see, to be or not to be. Okay, to go or to go this way or to go that way. Okay, this is what this Dolayamanaha Aparaha. Most of us face this in many occasions. Then Praptaika Kala Priyaha. See, this is where the beauty is. See, Ekakala means at one time. If it comes later, it is fine. So Ekakala, simultaneously these 2 are available for me. What do I do? Then the poet says, Priya Duta Huta. That is where the poet. So he is imagining as if, so it is just like some beloved. Okay, there are two people. Okay, so she also has sent a message to him. The other also has sent a message. So what does this fellow do? Priya Duta Huta means Priya is beloved, Duta is a messenger. This messenger has come and given this message. So another messenger from the other person has given. So what does this fellow do? This fellow does not know where to go. So this is the kind of situation which this Bhramara was experiencing. Okay, so that is where the beauty is. Okay, so there are various alankaras. I will skip this. So one is Subhabhakti Alankara, the other is Utpreksha Alankara. So that is what the poet has used in this verse. Okay. Then we have this solution of quadratic equation. So I just skip this. The example, of course, this is, he chooses beautiful examples, as I said. So he picks up from Purana, he picks up from nature, like this honeybee problem. So this example is the battle between Karna and Arjuna. So he says Karna shot so many arrows to finish this chariot, to finish Arjuna, to finish his all other things. So what is the total number of arrows which Arjuna shot? Okay. So this is basically a problem. So this is how it. So the answer is X turns out to be 100. Okay. So I will skip this. Again another honeybee problem. Okay. So here, so this is in quadratic. So that was Ishtakarma. So first order equation. So X. So here second order X. अलिकुलदलमूलं मालतीं यातमष्टौ निखिलनवमभागः शालिनीं भृङ्गमेकं निशिपरिमललुब्धं पद्ममध्ये निरुद्धं. This is again a very beautiful description which will be very attractive and very captive. प्रतिरणतिरणन्तं ब्रूहि कान्ते अलिसंख्याम्. Here he says, so there were a group of honeybees. So Malatim yatam ashtau. So then Navam Bhagaha, some part of it, 8/9 of it went to Shalini. Now what happened? 2 bees were remaining. Okay. Of the 2 bees, he says, Parimala Lubdham. This bee went inside a lotus. As it was sucking honey, so the lotus closed itself. Okay. Padma Madhye Niruddham. But this bee happens to be the spouse of the other bee. So they did not know what to do. So this has got trapped. So this fellow is crying from inside and that fellow is answering from outside. See, that is what he is saying. See. Padma Madhye Niruddham Prati Ranati Ranantam Bruhi Kante Alisankhyam. So Alisankhyam Bruhi. So this is how, he presents various very interesting problems. I will skip this. This is just to compare the same problem presented by 2 different authors. So I have to convey the Leela in Leelavati. So that is why I just chose this example. The bamboo problem is a famous problem. So the moment you describe this Pythagorean theorem and any geometry, so all people, so right from Bhaskara, they give this bamboo problem. So a bamboo was standing, so because of wind, it broke down. So now you have a sort of right angle thing formed. Okay, so then find out this quantity, that quantity. This problem has been presented by Bhaskara 1, and this is the verse from Leelavati. Yadi samabhuvi venuhu dvitripani pramanaha ganaka pavana vegat ekadeshe sabhagnaha bhuvin nrupamita hasteshveva lagnam tadagram kathaya katishu mulat yesha bhagna kareshu. Now I will read this verse. Shodasha hasta hasto vamshaha pavanena nipatita swamulat ashtau gatva patitaha kasmin bhagno marutpato vachyaha. See the charm which Bhaskara has brought in that verse. So the kind of meter which he has employed to convey some things. The moment you read Ganaka Pavana Vegat, see the way you chant itself. So you have to speed up there, okay? So Pavana Vegat, Ganaka Pavana Vegat, Ekadeshe Sabhagnaha. Again you see Kathaya Katishu, Kareshu. So you see the prasa everywhere. The same problem has been presented, but okay. So I will go to the last slide. I was actually trying to recall. So if I recall, so the way I studied mathematics was, so in my school days, there will be a book which has various formulae. The teacher will ask, so memorize this formulae, and then she will explain something in the board. Either some technique will be explained or we will be asked to memorize. In fact, even sciences we used to sort of memorize. Okay. Those days we had photographic memory and we used to memorize also. But see, the point is, so never ever can I recall a teacher giving a practical example while teaching mathematics. So this is what I had. So there will be all the examples will be either if you have a quadratic equation, either this term will be given, that term will be given, and then you just keep on practicing. You minus b plus r minus root of b square minus 4ac, all that. So this is what we do. But then I have never ever come across any interesting problem as it is presented in Leelavati. Not only in Leelavati, even other texts, Narayana Pandita's Ganita Kaumudi or other works also we find very interesting problems which are directly relatable to what we do in our day-to-day activities is what is presented. So the texts on Indian mathematics present plenty of examples. So I just quoted a few examples. And another thing which I feel is, so presenting something in the form of verses, as every one of us know, will enable us to retain things for longer periods of time. And therefore, even if a formula were to be presented, complicated formula, suppose you were to find out the number of terms in arithmetic series, you will have some complicated expression which you may not be able to. Either you may have to construct, but I don't think we have the ability to construct as we are school boys. Later we can construct what the solution has to be. But at those ages, I think this is a very interesting thing. Number two, so this also I believe will have a certain effect on the ability to process our mind. Okay, there are two faculties which we have. One is analytical faculty, the other is a faculty by which we will be able to recall things. I think that faculty will get improved, I think, if we are able to add these to what we have today. So we will not be able to replace anything. But if we can add these to what we have today, I think it will have a great value. And finally, as many people said, yesterday even Professor Kakodkar in his opening ceremony special address, he was mentioning towards the end that these kinds of things will actually enable people to build more on their creativity and so on and so forth. Okay? So with these few words, I thank the organizers once more. And see, the last verse of Leelavati, so he says, the moment you have this Leelavati, so Kantha Sakta is a beautiful usage which he uses. So if you have this Leelavati embracing you, then you will ever enjoy. With the paucity of time, I do not quote the verse and explain. Yeah.
The house is open. Question and answers, so you can start some questions.
I have a question or suggestion, proposal that is inspired partly by your and your colleagues' translation of the Tantra Sangraha and the Ganatha works related to that, in which I found it very inspiring that you discussed in the commentaries some of the grammatical features that are presented in aspects of commentaries that we don't see in just translating the mathematics. And I think what you say about the poetic lila in Leelavati is along the same lines. In short, if you are translating a Sanskrit mathematical work, especially one like the Leelavati, simply in terms of formulas, then you're only translating half of it at most. So I wonder if there could be perhaps a collaboration between historians of mathematics and students of literary Sanskrit to produce an English translation of the Leelavati that would both discuss the mathematics and analyze the alankara, the literary qualities of it, in a way that could be used both for English-speaking students of Sanskrit, who would thus see that the good Sanskrit is not only in kavya text, and also for historians of mathematics, who would see that this is not just a collection of memorized formulas, but a literary composition.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. I completely concur with your idea, and it will be a good thing if such a thing can come out. I wish, I too wish it comes out, yeah.
Please, your name.
My name is Shriram Sauthaiwale from Yavatmal. I am lecturer in mathematics. You talked about the first verse, Pritim Bhakti Janasya. There is a word Vignam, Vinignam, and usually it is translated as those who remove obstacles. But Vinignam word is used throughout mathematics as in sense of multiplication. So how it comes to be Vinignam for removing obstacles?
Nighnan, in fact, most of these processes which we use in mathematics, the technical terms which have been used by these authors to refer to those processes derive from the common meaning which we have for these words. For instance, guna. So guna, jya, etc. So the guna can mean virtue, Guna can mean rope, guna can mean jya, and so on. So coming to this multiplication is referred to by the word hata, ghnata, and so on and so forth. That is the basis of your question. The meaning of a word has to be fixed, keeping the context in mind. Vighnam vinighnan. In fact, if one were to discuss this at great length, which I would love to do later, so one can take the other meaning too and then explain this verse. Okay? So getting into a certain philosophical angle. I mean, I'm happy that you raised this, which we will discuss later. But as far as this word is concerned, Visheshataha Nighnan. Nighnan means eradicating, killing kind of a thing. So Vighnam Vinighnan, by eradicating all the obstacles. It is not Vinighnam, Vinighnan Hata. Okay?
Next.
I am N.K. Sundareswaram from Kerala. Very happy to hear your explanation of Leela, Gala, Lulal, Kamala, Kalavyala, Vilasini, etc. But if the Patha, recension were Leela, Gala, Milal, Kamal, Kalavyala, Vilasini, what would be your explanation? I am eager to hear.
Yeah. Even if you take Leela, Gala, Milal, Lola, there is absolutely no problem. After all, what we have here is, it goes as an adjective to Vyala. Gale Milat is something which is obtained even without stating. So Milat, when you use, in fact, the charm of the poetry reduces. So what can be derived as a suggestive meaning, or which can be derived without stating, so then it adds more beauty to the poet. But this poem, in fact, Leelaya Gale Milatu Yaha Vyalaha. So anyway, the interpretation is the serpent hanging around the neck of Shiva, then Tena Vilasine, the one who was. So whether it is Milat or Lulat, it doesn't make any difference. So Shivasya Gale Milat Yaha Vyalaha Tena Saha Vilasine. So there is absolutely no problem. So the charm will be lost by losing one lakara.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramasubramaniam. That I began my life with Alankaras about half a century ago, and it was a pleasure to recall all these things, and this was really a great treat. Now, about this problem about Leela, Gala, Lula, Lola, Kala, Vyalas, and your suggestion that he is actually playing with the serpents in the neck of Shiva, I think that in Raja Tarangini, Kalhana begins each Taranga with an Arthanarishwara Stuti. There are 8 very beautiful Arthanarishwara Stutis. In one of them, as far as I recall, there is a question of Vignesha playing with those snakes.
Oh, I see.
I'm not very sure, but I didn't have a chance to think about that. Another one, Kim, if you remember a long time ago, I said we need a modern translation of Leelavati. And you made some parts of the translation in Brown website, if that could be expanded. And now, as you say, it is really essential that there could be a modern translation of Leelavati, not only from the mathematical point of view, but as a cultural document, also talking about what the commentators said and so on, a task which Kohlbrook himself has begun. He consulted a number of commentaries which are not yet published, so many years later. So such a translation of Leelavati showing the mathematics, Leela, and poetry would be a good one. And hopefully some collaborative effort would come out of this suggestion which you have made. Thank you very much.
Thank you.